Welcome back, guys. Today I wanted to dive into all things RDLs. We'll go through some action items that I think we should be looking at in terms of making sure we're executing the best of our abilities. If you're not already liked the video and subscribed to the channel, do so now and we'll hop into it. Really, one of the first places to start is in our setup, right? We could talk about things like foot pressure and how to actually hinge well to the hips and execution, but execution starts with a good setup. So very often we're going to see people setting up far too wide. And this is really important because the benefit of us doing a split stance exercise or a single leg exercise is really getting access to the frontal plane at the hip, right? So if I'm standing on 2 feet and I pick up 1 foot, I'm going to shift my hips over that one leg. I'm going to access that kind of side to side plane at the hips, which gives me an opportunity to get more hip internal rotation than what I can get in a bilateral stance. So B stance RDL, split squat, Bulgarian split squat, step down, single leg RDL are all things that give us an opportunity to do that. So that's where a B stance RDL can become very valuable. So when we're setting up for a B stance RDL, we'll see very often people will set up either hip width or outside hip width, and then we're looking at them from a front view. We can't really see that hip shifting over that front leg because we're not. Just because we're in a split stance does not mean that we're not still in a bilateral base of support. So we still have to make sure that we are facilitating or executing in a way where we're going to be getting that ipsilateral hip shift to get all that length through our glutes. So getting right inside a hip width, I think for a lot of people can be incredibly beneficial for making sure that we're actually getting the most out of the exercise. So if we're doing split squats or B stance RDLs, make sure you're not setting up too wide. That's the first thing. Set up right inside hip width. Don't be like entirely stacked, but a little bit inside hip width will help a lot. One of the other big things that we're going to see, like if I just go over here and Google search B stance RDL, we're going to see a lot of people that are really shifting into that back leg. So yeah, we go over here and just search B stance RDLs on Google. We're going to see so much of this back leg pressure. And you can look at a few things here. One is people are going to want to hinge through their knee. This is actually a pretty good picture right here. They're going to want to hinge through their knee, right? So hips are going back, but knees also going back in space. That's no bueno. We don't want that, right? We don't want to be hinging through two joints. We want to maximize tension through our hamstrings, origin, insertion. One of those points should be fixed. So I don't want to be moving hamstring up here and hamstring down here across the knee joint. I want the knee joint to remain relatively fixed. Also, this is just weak position, guys, right? I'm trying to train the front glute here, right? The front glute is the priority. It should be a front leg exercise. I shouldn't see these back leg mechanics, right? So as you even see here for this green light, this checkbox here, look how much weight's in this back foot, right? It's a front leg exercise. I shouldn't see this back heel almost coming to the ground. You're going to see a lot of that. That's a pretty good demo for what we're seeing here with the weight shifting back in space. So see it here again. If I'm going to use a metric, I'm going to look at a measuring stick. I'm going to look at the shin angle, right? I prefer to cue a forward shin angle on B stance RDLs, on RDLs in general, because the forward shin angle is going to help me maintain my weight distribution more through the midfoot where I'm going to be strongest. Also, it's going to help me keep my knee still. So if I have a strong, stable base, I'm maintaining some stability at the knee while my hips move back in space. I'm going to be maximizing tension across the glutes and across the hamstrings, which is the goal of training an RDL, right? So make sure those knees are not also hinging. I want to make sure I'm hinging at the hips, maintaining good midfoot pressure. And then if I'm in a B stance, keep the main thing. It is a front leg exercise. I'm not setting up too wide. I'm making sure that I can actually access that frontal plane at the hip. Now, going alongside that, what you're also going to see with RDLs in general, if you look at one like this and you're like, man, I'm not really sure what's going on here. Like it looks a little bit funky, or even like something like this. Like, man, it looks a little bit funky. Well, obviously toes are coming up, but look at the bar. People want to let the bar almost scrape their shins, which if I'm trying to get my center of mass with the barbell over my midfoot and it's scraping against my shins, it's over my ankles, right? So my center of mass is already going to be through my ankles. If I'm scraping the bar across my shins, what we can do better is start to track the weights, whether it's a barbell, whether it's dumbbells, track them more over the midfoot. That's going to help us maintain that midfoot center of mass, that better weight distribution. We're going to be in a stronger position. We're going to be able to move better. That's kind of the goal here, right? So if we feel like we're doing all those things, if we feel like our setup is good, if we feel like we're maintaining good foot pressure, but we're still like looking a little bit off or feeling a little bit off, make sure you're not holding the weight too close to you. Don't also airmail it like way out in front of you. Like that's going to be an equal but opposite issue. So track the weight straight down through your midfoot. The other thing's going to be not getting too squatty. There's been this effort, I've seen it mainly in bodybuilding spaces, where we want to really just get glutes, right? We want to disadvantage the hamstring and a hinge. It's like, well, doing a glute biased RDL is almost, it doesn't make any sense because it's going to be glute, right? It's going to be glute no matter what. We don't need to bias our glutes in an RDL. The glute's going to be the main thing, right? So what we're going to do in the execution that you commonly see, which is getting the RDL very squatty, is we're disadvantaging the hamstring, sure, by getting more knee flexion as we go through hip flexion, But if we're getting more knee flexion and more relative knee extension, now we're disadvantaging the quad more. So we're basically turning our RDLs into this almost like dumbbell or whatever variation we're doing, deadlift, right? B stance deadlift. That's what we're doing. So don't get too fixated on trying to bias glute or even bias hamstring. We could do stiff legs, sure. But for the most part, it's like, guys, just maintain a relatively forward shin angle, drop the chest parallel to the ground as the hips move back. When the hips stop moving back in space, we're good to go, right? We don't need to make it a glute bias. We don't need to get super squatty with it. We've seen it execute at a high level within the parameters I said again. So again, good foot pressure, good setup, making sure we're not rocking back in space. Don't get too squatty. Don't let the weight be too close to you. Those are the common coaching points I'm looking at, whether coaching somebody online, I'm coaching somebody in person, whatever it is. If I'm running through my own checklist when I'm performing them, those are the things I'm thinking about. So appreciate you guys staying around here. If you are interested in online coaching, press the link down below in the description. If you're interested in advisory services for coaches, if you want help managing your clients, giving you form feedback, programming feedback, business things, there's a link down there below as well for coaches who want help. If you've not already subscribed to the channel and you've been here this long, you know what to do. I'll see you guys next time.